What would I be doing in the 2021 offseason if I was the Dallas Cowboys general manager? I'll tell you one thing. We would be a playoff team. No, but seriously, what would I do? I am very confident that I could build a championship caliber team for the Dallas Cowboys so it could finally be our year. But first, hit that intro.
I gave you fair warning, beware. Smack him in the
corner of the end zone. It is up for the touchdown.
Smack him in the mouth. I gave you fair warning, beware. I'll smack him in the mouth.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Mike on the Mic Sports YouTube channel. I am Mike, and I am on the mic of the most electrifying sports channel in the game today. Welcome, everyone. I am excited to get into this welcome to the offseason Dallas Cowboys edition. And you may be asking why, because just a couple days ago I was not so excited to feature the Cowboys on my YouTube channel. But there's been a few changes. I'm a big Dak Prescott fan if you've been following me at all. And I was backing Dak 100% to get his money. And while I was actually upset at the Dallas Cowboys and hating on the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones for franchise tagging Dak instead of signing him to a long-term deal, they made it up to him this week with a solid payday. Finally, congratulations, Dak. Well deserved. With that being said, my task today as general manager of the Dallas Cowboys is to build a team around that young man, Dak Prescott. Before we get into the video, please help me out. Take the 1 or 2 seconds it takes to tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And I love this series. I'm having a great time recording, editing, and creating this series for y'all to enjoy. The way that I know that you're enjoying is if you tap the like and leave a comment which team you want to see featured next. You see, I've been taking the votes from the comment sections, and that has decided which team I will feature next. The Dallas Cowboys won with only 3 votes last week, so every vote counts. Whether you want to see me feature your favorite team or just give me a challenge by commenting Jets in the comments below, feel free to do so. All comments are welcome. Let me know what teams you want to see featured on this channel. All right, let's get into the video. Welcome to the 2021 offseason Dallas Cowboys edition. We them boys edition.
Smack him in the mouth.
So first thing I like to do to start these videos off is address the needs and weaknesses and strengths of the team. I like to do this so I have a direction of where I'm going, what my goals are, and how I'm going to improve the Dallas Cowboys from last year to next year. So starting off with some needs/weaknesses. So first of all, we need to completely outhaul and in-haul almost an entirely brand new defense. Another need/weakness is we have a bunch of terrible contracts on this roster right now, and we need to either restructure, trade, cut, whatever we got to do to get out of some of the worst situations in the NFL right now. Thanks, Jerry Jones, for that as well. And Dak Prescott's not one of those situations. I just want to clarify. Some strengths of the Dallas Cowboys. The weapons are obviously there. You got Ezekiel Elliott. You got a really solid wide receiver core with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper. And I like Cedric Wilson Jr. also. You got both Jarwin and Schultz at the tight end position. The weapons are there for the Dallas Cowboys. I think the offensive line is solid as well. We don't need to do too much work there other than maybe try and keep from getting into more bad contracts. The linebacking core, again, is solid, but also there's some issues there with the cap being dedicated to the linebackers for their production. And another strength of the Dallas Cowboys, whether you like to admit it or not, if you're a Dak or a Cowboys hater, we do have a top 7 quarterback.
How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys, Joy Taylor?
Yeah, that's right. I said it. Do not at me. Unless you want to at me, I'm Mike on the Mic Sports on all platforms. So with those needs and weaknesses and strengths identified, let's see what we got to work with. Cap space, $2 million. Honestly, it could be worse. We could be the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let's get into the 2021 offseason. I like to go step by step, level by level, through the re-sign period, through the cut period, cap casualties, free agency, trade-ins, trade-outs, and the cherry on top, as I like to call it, the NFL draft. So starting off with the re-sign/cut period. Out of all the Dallas Cowboys free agents this year, I only see one man I want to keep around, and that's Cedric Wilson Jr. for $1 million a year. Cedric Wilson may not know it yet, but he's going to have a much bigger role in this offense because I'm going to be making some changes at the wide receiver position. We're going to let starting center walk, and we're going to be going ahead and rolling with Tyler Biadasz, our young center who's been the backup for the last couple seasons. I think he's ready to step up and fill that role. So that's it for the re-sign period, and our cap space available after the re-sign period is $1 million. So let's get into one of my favorite moments, because I do it well, and that is the cap casualty part of the video. Some smaller cap casualties are going to be cornerback Anthony Brown, just not quite producing the way we expected him to. That's going to save us about a $3 million, $4 million. Then we're going to cut safety Darian Thompson, just not quite a good safety in the NFL. We're going to save $1 million with him, and we're going to cut punter Chris Jones and save an additional $2 million. We're going to get in Jalen Smith's ear. A couple years ago, he was looked at as one of the better linebackers in the NFL, just not quite played to that level, at least last year at the very minimum. Had probably the worst year of his career. We're going to ask him to come down from around $9-10 million a year to hopefully $3 or $4 million a year, saving around $7 million. And then we're going to talk to the other Smith on the offensive side of the ball, Tyron Smith, and ask him to restructure/extend his deal and get him down to around $6 mil, $7 mil a year, saving another $8 million. Not that I don't like Tyron Smith. I want to keep him around. I still think he can be one of the better tackles in football. But with the injuries and with him aging, he's just not worth top-level money at this stage in his career. I think we can get both Smiths to restructure, especially if we can say, hey, we want you guys to be a part of this Cowboys team. We're doing special things. Even let them in to some of the plans for free agency and all the signings that we expect to have happen with the money that they're going to give up in the immediate future. Now here comes the real pipe bomb. Like I said, we have some of the worst contracts in the NFL. And in my opinion, Demarcus Lawrence is one of them. While he's still a very capable pass rusher, he's getting paid $25 million a year, and I don't think he's gone over 15 sacks in his career yet. I don't think he's gone more than 10 sacks for 3 consecutive years in his career yet. Very injury-prone guy, and while I still think he has some left in the tank, it definitely is not worth this price tag. This is one of the worst contracts in the NFL. We need to get rid of him ASAP. Rocky. Now, Demarcus Lawrence could be a contract restructure type of guy, but to get him to come all the way down to the level that I want, we're probably better off trading him and letting another team deal with that. So we're going to trade him to the New England Patriots for a 6th-round pick. I think Bill Belichick can convince him to restructure, and they got the space to take on another piece to this defense. Who knows what the defense is going to look like? Coming back from all the opt-outs for New England, I assume they're going to be just fine considering who their coach is. But Demarcus Lawrence can definitely go over there and be a second, option, or maybe even the first option again as a pass rusher for the Patriots, and we can get that money off our books, saving us $25 million. And it doesn't stop there. You'd think that would be the bold move of the episode, but no. We are going to be trading Amari Cooper, a 3rd-round pick, to the Jacksonville Jaguars for the 25th overall pick, a 4th-round pick, a 5th-round pick, saving around $22 million and acquiring the 25th overall pick in the NFL draft this upcoming season. Look, Amari Cooper has just been so inconsistent in his career, and $22 million a year is absolutely ridiculous. We're paying this guy when we have CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup both on the come up. Amari Cooper is a very deceiving receiver because when you watch his tape and you watch his highlights, he looks like a top 5 receiver in the NFL. But he's so inconsistent and just is on and off all the time from game to game and even from series to series that we just cannot afford to pay him that top dollar money unless he's going to be top dollar consistent. So we're going to send him to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to be looking for a wide receiver 1 this offseason. I think DJ Chark still has a lot of potential, but adding a top-notch wide receiver would help out Trevor Lawrence, especially a guy like Amari Cooper, who's very good security blanket, very good and underneath ball catcher. I really think he's the perfect fit for Trevor Lawrence, especially in his first couple years in the NFL. I'm sure Jacksonville's going to ask Amari Cooper to restructure as well, and they may be able to get it. We may be able to get it, but I'm not interested. So, including those 2 big trades saving us a lot of money each, we are going to gain $68 million in the cap after the cap casualty portion of the video. Now remember the disclaimer, as I said in the other videos, I am not an NFL GM, and there's a reason for it. This will be an extremely aggressive offseason for any NFL team to pull off. Try to make the videos entertaining, worth your while, bring out some interesting scenarios and possibilities for the 2021 offseason, because I think it's going to be a wild one, and also fix a team in one offseason. So you see the challenges here. So hopefully I got that to you before you left the comment, what is this guy talking about? And if you did leave the comment, I forgive you. So with our $1 million we had left over from the cap re-signing and our $68 million left over after cap casualties, we have a total of $69 million to spend. Ballsy, I know. So let's get to work. I'm going to warn you now, go ahead and get comfortable. The free agency signings is a very long and healthy list. Kick up a recliner, grab some popcorn, whatever you need to do to relax, because it's going to be a minute. So the first free agent I'm going to sign is defensive end Jadeveon Clowney to a $6 to $7 million a year deal. We're going to get a huge discount on him because he's been so injury prone in his career so far. This is probably his last chance to make it in the NFL, so we know we're going to get his full effort into this. If Jadeveon Clowney could get to any kind of form that he once was, it is definitely worth $6 or $7 million. Then we're going to go get a guy that I was a huge fan of in the previous season, and that's Trey Hendrickson, defensive end from the New Orleans Saints. If they're actually letting him walk, he's probably going to have a price tag of around $10 million, and the guy put up 13.5 sacks last year in his breakout season. I think pairing him with Clowney can really help and make this pass rush one of the best in the NFL today. And I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go get the young cat defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson from the New York Giants. He was the anchor of that Giants defense, and if they're willing to let him go, he's probably going to cost another $10 million, but is well worth it. An up-and-coming star defensive tackle in the NFL today. We're going to be signing cornerback Mike Hilton from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He also was an injured guy last year, only played in 12 games, but during those 12 games, really contributed to that defense being one of the top defenses in football. He really should help out Diggs, a guy who I actually think is probably the player that we do want to hold on to in this defense, and bring a lot to this cornerback room, especially experience-wise. I have some other plans for the cornerback position, so you just hold on to your britches. And then I'm also going to be signing the Atlanta Falcons safety tandem that's set to be free agents this year in Keanu Neal and Ricardo Allen. I think these guys could come into Dallas and really add a lot to our secondary and be placeholders while we look for franchise guys at both of those positions. These guys both probably have 3 or 4 years left in the tank. Again, guys that we're going to get at a discount because they've had injuries in previous seasons. And also, if the Minnesota Vikings are going to let him walk, I think Cedric Wilson, outside linebacker from the Vikings, has a lot of potential in the NFL still. Definitely worth the chance at $4 million a year, especially, with asking Jalen Smith to restructure, seeing Vander Esch and seeing really what kind of player he's becoming. I'd love to add some depth to this linebacker core. Cedric Wilson's a good cheap option. I think he's a quality option as well. And then we're going to add 2 veteran wide receivers to this receiving core to come in and help take some of that Amari Cooper workload that we're going to be losing with the Amari Cooper trade. And that is going to be AJ Green and John Brown, each for around $6 or $7 million. I know AJ Green and John Brown aren't what they once were, but they add some veteran experience. John Brown can help stretch the field, and AJ Green can be a good jump ball guy. And if we don't bring AJ Green into Dallas, let's go for Dez Bryant. Let's bring him back. But in all seriousness, after the free agency period, we are going to be around $9 million in the positive. I'll take it. That's going to help out with our rookie signings. That's going to help out with future re-signings in the next couple off seasons. I'm trying to leave every single team in a positive cap situation when I'm done with them. Moving on to the NFL draft. Remember, we have 2 first-round picks now because we traded Amari Cooper for a first-round pick. And with our first-round pick, the 10th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys are going to select Patrick Surtain Jr., cornerback out of Alabama. Look, I think Patrick Surtain is one of the best defensive backs available, if not the best defensive back available in the draft this year. Normally a top 7, top 5 pick is going to slide back to 10 where we can scoop him up thanks to the quarterback-heavy drafting that's going to be going on at the beginning of this thing. It's going to cause a couple guys to slide back to that 10 to 15 range. I'm excited for it because I'm a Los Angeles Chargers fan in real life. And as a Los Angeles Chargers fan, picking at 13, looking like we're going to get a steal. And I think the Cowboys would be getting a steal in Patrick Surtain at this point in the draft as well. And then with the 25th overall pick, we're going to be taking defensive tackle Jalen Phillips out of Miami. He's kind of like a hybrid edge / defensive tackle. Really just a D lineman is kind of what his classification is. But I think he really could bump in and add some speed to Dalvin Tomlinson's power that we added in free agency, fixing our defense. That will be the main thing, is that all these moves will have fixed this defense. I trust Dak Prescott to make it work on offense. So after it's all said and done, here are your 2021 Dallas Cowboys. If I was their general manager, what do you think? I feel like our offense is still very explosive. We did lose Amari Cooper, but we got Zeke still. We got the tight end tandem. We got some solid wide receivers, and Dak Prescott is on board for the long term. Then defensively, a complete outhaul, and we fixed this defense, in my opinion. Whew! That was a lot of work. Overall, the Cowboys definitely have the trending up emoji going on right now because they did re-sign Dak Prescott. I'm excited to see what they do and how they build a team around him. Was not for him going back to the Cowboys. Kind of wanted to see him go to free agency, but since they paid him, I'm okay with it. Once again, please help me out before you go. Tap the subscription button, hit the little notification bell next to it. It takes 2 seconds to help my dreams come true. And then leave a comment which team you want to see featured in the next video. I want to keep this series alive. I'm having a great time doing it. Let me know who you want to see next, whether it's a team that you want to see me challenged by because of a cap situation or roster situation, or it's your personal favorite team. The Cowboys won with 3 votes last time, so every vote counts. If you want more from me, I am Mike on the Mic Sports across the board. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and everything in between. Just go ahead and go follow me there. There's content posted daily on all my social media pages. And finally, head over to the Warzone Sports Network, a network I have co-founded with my friends Brian Bullshit Up Sports, Joe Skirdo, and Joe Morley Sports. I'm co-host of a show that weekly airs on that network page called Friday Night Wars. I need your vote. Joe Morley Sports has been winning for way too long. It is our time to take control of Friday Night Wars. I think that's all the cheap plugs for the episode. Yep, that's all of them. With all of that being said, I am Mike, and I am on the mic, and this is me saying, until next time.
I gave you fair warning, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you fair warning.